Hi. Thank you, Mayor Hales. And let me just start by thanking the distinguished members of the council. This is my first time being here today. You've got beautiful chambers here. I've never been down here before. Expect to see me, I guess. That's what I'd say.
Put your name on the record if you will.
Okay, my name is Dan Sandini. I'm a video journalist, citizen journalist here in the city. And I'm a gun owner, concealed carry person. Last year I had the benefit of being down in the State House and catching Manny Martinez. And I don't know if any of you know who Manny is. He's a Cuban immigrant here in the United States who went through communism, the rise of communism in Cuba. And Manny testified down there. It's the biggest video on my YouTube channel. His testimony is 250,000 views, which I think I have the biggest political YouTube channel here in the city. And what Manny was describing, and I invite you to go look at that. It's YouTube/Dateline Disinfectant if you want to go look at that video. And what Manny had to say was that the first step is this gun registration. That's the first thing that they did. And you may say that they're not going to keep a record of this, and people inside city offices and state offices aren't going to use these records to intimidate us. But I can tell you that that does happen, and that's going to be the first step. And I guess my next point would be is that this is the Constitution that we're talking about. I'm not given that right by any government organization. I'm given that right by God. And all of you should be ashamed for wanting to add additional legislation. I understand there are existing gun checks in place right now. And I understand that the Supreme Court has ruled that cities and states can put reasonable checks on those things. But every additional law detracts from other resources. You are not going to stop a criminal from getting a gun. Look at the city of Chicago. Look at the high murder rates that they have down here. One of the reasons why we have such little gun violence here downtown in Portland is because we live in a state where it's easy for a citizen to go and get a gun and carry it as a concealed weapon. You can take a class in one day here in the state and do that. And that is my right that's given to me. That makes us unique individuals, different from any other beast on the planet. And the founding fathers knew and understand that. And governments should not get in the way of it. That's my point. And I will say that I resent any further additional restrictions on doing that. You know, I can go and from a friend, Charlie, we're both good guys, we both know each other downtown, just for $100 buy his rifle from him without having any government agency, put my name in a database, nothing, okay? I can go ahead and do that. That's my right as a free man, a very unique right given to us as individuals here in the United States. And I would say, for someone who's a British Commonwealth citizen, or for someone who comes from, I lived in Germany for 8 years, I lived in Japan for a year, I've lived all over this world, and I know what people suffer through. I know that people inside Great Britain suffer with having to go to bed with baseball bats because the criminals still have guns. And I would ask you to really think, I know you're smirking and smiling, Steve Novik. What I will say to you
how many gun deaths per capita are there?
Could you let me finish? Could you let me finish before you interrupt me? Would you let me finish? I know I'm out of time, but I'll take a few minutes. We're the only two people here today, okay? I would say, before you do this, I would ask you to stop and think and consider that this is the last bastion of freedom on earth. And every one of these laws stands in the way of freedom-loving citizens owning weapons and puts in place a mechanism for someone disarming the citizens, just like they did during Katrina, just like the legitimate citizens.
How many gun deaths per capita are there in the United Kingdom?
I don't have those facts in front of me, sir.
Okay, thanks very much.
Mr. Novik, I would propose that maybe you should move to the United Kingdom.
Okay, we'll exchange facts later.
Thank you. I want to thank the council very much.
Thank you for having us. Anyone else wants to testify?
That's all.